Alright, so peace and blessings first of all. Now this is what I wanted to address because I looked at this post earlier and it was basically with this sister dealing with whatever situation, and so another sister got into the comments and saying black women are the most unprotected woman on the face of the earth. Now I started reading to the comments. I heard all of the chiming in of other black women agreeing, right? Here's the thing about that. And here, because I have to sit back for a minute and see what's the facts on that. Why, in the minds of most, would they consider that to be true? When I know for myself, I've tried to protect a number of black women, and I've also tried to intervene in situations with black women that I don't even know. And just to have those same sisters push past me, and turn their aggression towards me, and in situations like that, and also what that can happen, especially if it's on a personal level in some type of relationship with somebody else. A brother intervenes, and next thing you know, him and the brother who he intervened with end up in some situation where someone gets either hurt or gone to jail or something like that. And this same sister in a situation like that, she ends up being back with the guy. Or even worse, she may end up teaming up with the guy to fight you. But my whole point is here, man, is that here's some thing, because one thing I realized on my way home when I was getting out, one thing I realized was that I had to be very picky about the kind of female that I associated myself with. That are very finicky about the kind of woman that I allowed to, become one with my soul. It's because one thing about a woman is that if she don't know how to represent herself in and out of your presence, and I mean mainly with her mouth, the way she deals with the public, the way she deals with another man, especially if we're in a type of environment where there's drinking involved. You see, there's just a certain way you got to deal with situations. And one thing I know, even for a man, you have to make a determination when you address certain matters. Either you willing to go all the way or leave it alone. You feel what I'm saying? Because not everybody can be rationalized with. They said you can't rationalize with a fool. So whenever a woman starts to open her mouth to address or to check somebody sometimes, what she's trying to do is appeal to a person's logic sometimes, but in the way she do it, it can what you call it, bruise the ego. Now he may be totally out of line, but I'm gonna tell you the similarity to that. A police step up on the scene, he's totally out of line, but I know he's the enemy, right? And I know that this is a losing situation for me. So it's a situation I gotta address and handle a particular kind of way, right? I'm just using this analogy, this scenario. I gotta handle this a particular kind of way, because if I handle it the wrong way, if I handle it based off the way I feel, then this can turn into something real ugly where my point still isn't made. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't nothing but something added to the statistics and all that there. And so I have to handle this with some sense. I gotta handle it strategically. And so likewise, when a woman gets to dealing with a male, she has to understand that you're dealing with a individual that you are not stronger than. Almost some of the weaker, and there women got guns, all this, that, and other. Men got guns too. So my point is that you don't know how far the next person willing to go. Now I know in some of y'all mind, well, he don't know how far I'm willing to go. See, that's the mentality I'm talking about, though. You see, some of you can't be protected, because you won't listen. And as the scholars and some of my mentors and teachers say, you cannot control nor protect, better yet, you can't protect something that you can't control. You feel what I'm saying? You can't even protect your kids if you can't control them, and you can't protect yourself if you can't control your mouth. So, my whole point of this here, man, your tongue, sisters, is a very vicious thing. You have to understand the way you talk will fire another woman up, and the way you talk or take a man to a level that no other man can take. So you just got to understand the point of this here. You have to make sure, first of all, that you are presenting yourself to be respected and admired and protected. Present yourself like that. In the way you dress, the way you present yourself, and all that. Because a lot of you, if you do some real self-analyzation, you and be truthful, you don't present yourself as though you want all these things that you are ranting and raving about. And so, like for example, if you listen to music, if this is what's turning you up, if this is what's getting you all excited and getting you to dance and doing this, that, and other, if you listen to music that is talking, that's calling you bitches and hoes and shake that ass and booties over and bust it out, and that's what's making you do something. But somebody turns something else on that's trying to get into your eardrum and open up your brain, that's not what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? See, that's proof that you ain't where you're supposed to be. You're not in a position mentally about yourself yet to where you warrant that which you think you warrant. Yeah, you do warrant it, but I'm saying you're not presenting yourself like that yet. So I'm saying, when you start finding yourself, putting yourself in situations where you are surrounded by the same individuals who get turned up on this disrespectful music. You dig what I'm talking about? Yeah, I like trap music, I jam it, but my thinking is different. It don't move me the same way. And many ain't made like me, but my point like this here for the average is that when you put yourself in certain environment, you have to know what you're dealing with. And when you understand what you're dealing with, then you can't blame nobody for what happens. You take full responsibility because you hanging around, quote unquote, bitches and hoes and niggas, right? But you want to be treated like a queen by a king, but you're not in the environment of kings and queens. You're in the environment of bitches and hoes and niggas, right? So you have to get at some consideration when you start looking for certain things from individuals that you shouldn't be looking for it from. I mean, you have to, there's a lot of self-accountability that has to be taken until you're able to be truthful with self and take some accountability about what's going on with you. You know, when you know that you're not allowing yourself to be protected, when you're not open, when you're not putting yourself in a situation where you can be protected, but also where you're not putting another king or another black man in a situation where he can die trying to protect you behind some ignorance, behind some foolishness, all because you couldn't handle your tongue, and all because you put yourself in the environment and in a situation that you shouldn't have been in the start. So give all that some consideration. Get these relationships that you with and these dudes living in your mouth like a dentist. Give all that some consideration when you're looking for somebody to help you and protect you. But you steady putting yourself in certain situations. Charge yourself up first before you start trying to charge up another black man for what he not doing for you. Peace.